Hallmark fans know Alison Sweeney as a talented actress who can bring warmth and emotion to almost any story. But one recent project gave her a completely different kind of challenge, acting opposite her own daughter. When Sweeney appeared with her 17-year-old daughter, Megan, in Romance at Hope Ranch, the experience became much more personal than either of them expected. What was supposed to be another emotional scene suddenly felt like a real mother-daughter moment, and Sweeney admitted that she struggled to hold back her tears. The scene took place when Sweeney's character had to say goodbye to her daughter as she left for college. On paper, it was simply an important moment in the movie. But once the camera started rolling, everything changed. Sweeney already knew her lines and understood how the scene was supposed to play out. However, seeing Megan in the role made the situation feel far more real. Instead of simply playing a character saying goodbye to her daughter, Sweeney found herself looking at her own child. That emotional connection became impossible to ignore. The actress later admitted that she became overwhelmed and had trouble keeping her emotions under control. The scene hit a very real place in her heart, making it difficult to separate her role as an actress from her role as a mother. And honestly, this may be one of the sweetest behind-the-scenes stories Hallmark fans have heard from the movie. There was one funny twist to the emotional moment. While Alison was struggling to regain her composure, Megan remained focused on the job. In fact, it was the teenager who essentially reminded her famous mother to get back into professional mode so they could finish the scene. That moment says a lot about Megan's confidence. For Alison, watching her daughter suddenly step into the world of acting must have been both exciting and emotional. But Megan apparently handled the experience with surprising calm. She didn't seem intimidated by the cameras or the pressure of performing alongside her mother. Instead, she approached the set naturally and seemed ready to take direction and get the work done. For an actress making her screen debut, that kind of confidence certainly caught her mother's attention. Sweeney also noticed something else while watching her daughter perform. Megan didn't appear nervous when the cameras started filming. Many first-time performers need time to become comfortable in front of a camera. They may suddenly change their behavior once the scene begins, or become overly aware that they're acting. Megan reportedly didn't have that problem. She seemed relaxed and comfortable, which impressed her mother. Alison could clearly see that her daughter has a strong personality and wasn't afraid to show it. For a mother who has spent years working in television, watching her daughter handle a professional set must have been a very special experience. But there was another surprise waiting for Alison. Despite enjoying the experience, Megan doesn't appear eager to immediately follow her mother into show business. After working on the movie, she reportedly had an honest conversation with Alison about acting. Megan enjoyed the opportunity, but she wasn't sure she wanted to make acting part of her future. And that may have been perfectly fine with Alison. Being the daughter of a well-known actress doesn't mean Megan has to choose the same career. She has the freedom to discover her own interests and decide what kind of future she wants. For Alison, the experience may have been less about creating another young Hollywood star and more about sharing something unforgettable with her daughter. What makes this story so touching is that the emotion wasn't simply created for the movie. The story itself centers around a mother facing the difficult moment of sending her daughter off to college. For Alison and Megan, that situation carried a very real connection. Even though they were acting, the feelings behind the scene were familiar. A mother watching her daughter grow up, a daughter preparing for a new chapter, and the complicated emotions that come with realizing that childhood is slowly becoming a memory. That is why the scene reportedly affected Alison so strongly. She wasn't only thinking about her character, she was thinking about her own daughter. For viewers, the scene offered something extra special. Fans weren't simply watching two performers play fictional family members, they were watching a real mother and daughter share a meaningful moment on screen. That connection can be difficult to manufacture, and perhaps that is exactly why the scene felt so genuine. Alison has spent years entertaining audiences, but this project allowed viewers to see another side of her. The experience showed how quickly a professional acting moment can become deeply personal when the person standing across from you is your own child. And Megan's calm approach made the story even more memorable. There is something beautiful about seeing an experienced actress admit that even she couldn't completely control her emotions. Sweeney has performed countless dramatic scenes throughout her career, She knows how to prepare, memorize dialogue, and deliver a powerful performance. But sometimes, real life gets in the way. Looking at your own daughter while pretending to say goodbye can make even the most experienced performer forget about the camera for a moment. That appears to be exactly what happened here, and perhaps that is why the scene became one of the most meaningful parts of the project for Allison. Whether Megan ever returns to acting or chooses a completely different path, she and her mother now share something that can never be taken away. They worked together. They stood in front of the cameras together, and they created a scene that brought real emotion into a fictional story. For Allison, the experience also offered a reminder of how quickly children grow up. One minute, you're raising your daughter. The next, you're watching her play your daughter on television as she prepares to leave for college. That must have been an emotional reality check. So, Hallmark fans, what did you think of Alison Sweeney and Megan Sweeney sharing the screen? Would you like to see the mother-daughter duo work together again? Or do you think Megan should explore a completely different career? And if Megan did return to acting, would you love to see her appear with Allison in another Hallmark movie? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. For now, this mother-daughter story gives Romance at Hope Ranch an extra layer of heart, and Alison Sweeney's emotional reaction proves that sometimes the most powerful scenes are the ones that feel a little too real. Stay tuned for more Hallmark news, behind-the-scenes stories, cast updates, and movie surprises.